Zabani for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. With me, I have a delighted promoter because he has a new world champion, Mr. Eddie Hearn. Eddie, what a night.
Great night. I mean, not just delighted because we've got a new world champion, but delighted with the performance. You know, when you gain a world champion, it's an amazing feeling. But when you gain a world champion that you think, fuck me, can beat everyone in the division, it's an even better feeling. And that's how I feel after tonight. So proud of Lawrence. Great performance. And the future is very exciting for the Source. You know, he's had his criticism, hasn't he, over the years, where he stepped up in fights and occasions that were probably before his time. 6 rounds tonight. How many clinches were there? 4? 5? I mean, his feet were outstanding. His boxing skills were great. His jab was great. The power's unbelievable. And he's done it. You know, he's become world champion in just 16 fights. And I really see him clean up the whole division.
That link up with Shane McGuigan has really turned him into a monster.
Yeah, Shane's done a great job with him. And with Fowler, by the way. Great performance from him as well. And I think there's so much more to come from Lawrence. But he was so composed. All week, you know, you've been around. I'm thinking to himself, does he realise he's fighting Glavatsky for the world title on Saturday? And he was just assured, wasn't he? Confident. And I thought it was brilliant.
I can't remember what round it was. I think it was round 4 where he looked like he had him really hurt. He jumped on him and then but jumped immediately off.
Because I couldn't believe Glavatsky took those shots. He took about 5 or 6 absolute. And I know how hard Lawrence hits. You know, everybody knows how hard Lawrence hits. And I was really impressed by Glavatsky taking those shots. And Lawrence said, he said to himself, just stay calm here. This guy, you know, he knows what he's doing. But the last one was just an absolute peach, wasn't it? Right down the pipe. And you know, Glavatsky, you still get people who say, well, Glavatsky's coming to the end of his career. Mate, Glavatsky's a 2-time world champion. He's, you know, an elite cruiserweight, and he's just got absolutely demolished. I mean, not just beaten. He didn't lay a glove on Lawrence Okolie. And he got outboxed, outskilled, beaten up and knocked out. I mean, it was a stunning victory.
What's next for him now? Obviously, I know there's been talk about unification, moving up to heavyweight, but ideally, what would you like to see happen next?
I want Briedis. I mean, you know, I think when people say, and I was one of those people, you know, I've been talking to Lawrence and Shane, they want that fight. Callis Allen tweeted about it, you know, I don't see why we can't make that fight. There is an argument to go and pick up the other belts, but everyone's dangerous, aren't they? I mean, Makabu's dangerous, Gulamarin's dangerous, but Briedis, I don't think he's more dangerous than those guys, and he's really the king of the division, isn't he? So go after him. And I don't think that Lawrence has got, you know, years and years at cruiserweight. So let's try and get the belts ASAP. And I guess if you beat Briedis, you don't really need to fight the other champions, do you? Because you completed it. And then you move to heavyweight. But I don't see Briedis beating him. Honestly, I know Briedis is a great fighter. And it's hard not to get carried away. But how do you beat Lawrence Okolie? You know, so wonderful performance and really exciting.
And that move to heavyweight for Lawrence, obviously with Joshua still there, is that a bit of a conflict?
No, because, you know, Lawrence has still got another year or so at cruiserweight, and when he moves up, listen, maybe one day AJ passes over the mantle and the titles to Lawrence Okolie, who knows? But I would say Lawrence Okolie was 16 stone plus in the ring tonight. And, you know, he's a monster. You know, you put a little bit more weight on him, you build up those legs a little bit, I think he's going to be weighing in between 16 and 17 stone, which is as big as most heavyweights today. You know, and he's just so hard to hit. I love the cruiserweight division. I mean, Chris Billham-Smith-Ducal was another great fight. They're fast, aren't they? They're explosive. They can all punch. But yeah, heavyweight is inevitable for Lawrence Okolie.
Joe Cordina back after that hand operation. Obviously, tough fight. 10 good rounds under his belt.
Yeah, it was a good fight. I mean, how one of the judges has it all square after 10 rounds, I just don't see it. But listen, fair play to Korbanov because he kept on trying. He definitely nicked a few rounds. Not 5, but definitely nicked a few rounds. I thought Joe was a little bit flat at times, you know, because expected. You know, I don't think he was fearful of Korbanov, and he'd been out for a long, long time. But good to get the belts under his... And like a lot of these Olympians from Rio, ready to go, mate. Fowler, great performance. Josh Kelly stepped up the other week. Okolie stepped up tonight. Joe Cordina's time next. Time to go, mate. He's 28 years of age. You've got all these young pups coming in at 21, 22, winning world titles. It's time to go, and he's good enough to do it.
Ramla Ali, back, obviously Bet Conley, big step up for her. Probably should have been stopped.
Yeah, good performance. I mean, really close to being stopped. And, you know, Ramla was giving weight away tonight. I know she weighed in a similar number, but she ate her way up there, and she didn't have to take any weight off, and she had her clothes on because really she's probably giving up 5 or 6 pounds. really good boxing. Nearly stopped her in, I think, the 3rd round. Had to just take her foot off the gas in the 6th round because of the cut, but good performance. Ellie Scottney, great opponent in Gangloff, all action. I don't think Ellie will be over the moon with her performance, but it was great to get the rounds because there's not a lot of liquidity in the division, so it's really 4, 5, 6 fights and you're going for the world title, so important to get the rounds.
Got asked about Bradley Ray. He was super excited all week and put on a I didn't expect him to knock Lee Cutler out in round 1.
No, I wanted 8 rounds. I mean, we had Facebook set up and everything. We paid a lot of money for that, and he battered him in a round. Great performance from Bradley Ray. Shout out to Lee Cutler for taking the challenge. You know, he's really a smaller guy, but brilliant from Brad Ray. Really explosive, big statement. And Anthony Fowler, of course, the last one to discuss, who I thought was brilliant. Brilliant. You know, what we know about Lawrence is he can really punch. But tonight he showed us great feet, great movement, and same with Fowler. We know he can punch, we know he's tough, but tonight he showed great feet, he showed intelligence, he took his time, and he was a good fighter for today. You know, he's fast, he jumped in with his feet, he was slick, and Fowler, you know, took his time and broke him down. Great night, great performances, excited to see what's next.
I know you were a little bit nervous about Okolie winning the world title this week, next week. Are the nerves jingling already?
Big time, they've been jingling for about a month. I mean, I just can't imagine the feeling of sitting there waiting for those two to ring walk, Povetkin and White, next week and just seeing the bell go. It's absolute all or nothing, mate. All or nothing. He must win next week and I can't wait.
Eddie Hearn, IFL TV, thank you very much.